This is the diagonal family, and the first letter is the letter V, and that should be about the width of that oval letter O. The important thing with the diagonal family is to know that that first stroke should be quite steep. If you don't make it steep, as here, the letter looks upright rather than slanting forwards. The W obviously is just two letter V's, and the Y, based on this family, just has a tail. If you just push that very slightly to thicken it, and you can see there that's quite an angle, and I just want to take the edge off that angle, so I just use the corner of my nib to do that. It doesn't always happen. Having said that, it'll probably happen again. Yes, it has. The X, first stroke is quite steep, and the X should have those cross, perhaps that's a little bit too low. This should be about halfway between the lines for X height. If you exaggerate both the entry and exit strokes and curve the actual strokes, you get a really ugly letter as there. But actually the X in italic is a very elegant letter. And Z has straight strokes. Again, the width should be about the width of the oval letter O. And you'll have noticed that I actually flattened the nib to about 10 degrees for this second diagonal stroke, which is the third stroke. If I don't do that, that middle stroke is very thin and it gives a rather weak letter. Now the very last family are the family of odds. So I'm just going to do this on the same piece of paper, and the first letter, which doesn't fit any of the families in our family of odds, is the letter S. The letter S should be narrow, it's based on that oval letter O, and the curves should all be smooth. It should be like a swan's neck. If there are any kinks or bumps, then the swan is dead, and we don't want dead swans. I'm not going to do this now, but if you can, if you're looking at this on a laptop, turn it upside down because those two bowls should look about the same, but in fact the lower bowl should be slightly larger than the upper bowl, and that gives the letter its balance. The second letter, which doesn't fit the families, is the letter F. And this is a long letter. Crossbar goes just underneath the top guideline for X height. Ideally, these curves should be smooth. And these strokes are relatively flat. Oh dear, that's not so good at all. I'm faking this here. Crossbar just below the lines for X height. If you hook these strokes, you get a really sort of ugly pinched letter. So allow the letter room to breathe. And then if you have two letters F together, sometimes quite nice to do the first letter with both curves and the second letter with just one curve.